This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview.
Hello, welcome to Stock Box. Joining us today is Dennis Edmonds, the CEO of Kazera Global. Hi, Dennis. How are you today?
Hi, Pam. Very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Wonderful to have you with us. Now, the last time we spoke to you here at Stock Box, it was back in December, so it's been a while. Let's catch up across some of the elements across the business. Now, starting with Namibia. Last time we spoke about African Tantalum, that you sold it to a Chinese company. They paid you $5 million, and they were having some difficulties, but they were meeting all their costs, and you were fairly happy. But how's all that been going?
Yeah, the position remains that we're fairly happy. The $5 million was particularly useful. It helped us to achieve our goal of building up the heavy mineral sands and diamond projects, which are our major focus. But at the same time, they are committing money to Namibia. They are paying all the ongoing costs in Namibia. And we still retain a 100% ownership of the shares in the project. So we would love to see it work. We would love to see them successful. But it's all the time that they carry on. So the chances of that happening increase, and to both of our benefits. So we're very content with it.
Wonderful. Now, are you looking for an exit strategy at some point? How might that look?
Yeah, we're in discussions with a couple of different groups, and exploring different ways that it might be achieved. But yeah, as I said, at the moment we're funded for our South African operations, and that for us is the most important part of it.
Yes. Now let's move on to the heavy mineral sands project. The commissioning of the project has been completed. Where are you at with heavy mineral sands?
Right. So the commissioning of the plant, as you say, has been completed. Largely. And the reason it's largely is that we are still waiting for a certificate from the nuclear regulator to allow us to process heavy mineral sands. That certificate is a standard certificate. We've got to comply with a set of regulations. We are advised by somebody who is regarded as being the eminent consultant on nuclear energy issues. He was a very senior member of the nuclear regulator previously. So he is very well connected, understands exactly what they're looking for. And we're confident it's now just a question of waiting and getting the certificate. We are absolutely sure we have complied with everything that they require.
Right. I mean, in terms of heavy mineral sands, the end product that you would sell, what would that be?
That's an interesting question, and one I can't answer. And the reason I can't answer it is that there are various ways we can do this. The first way would be for us to essentially separate out the silica, the sand, rocks, shells, diamonds from the product, and then to sell that raw product to somebody who wants to process it.
Yes.
Now that there works really well in terms of being a very low-cost operation from our point of view. And we are producing an incredibly high purity of saleable heavy mineral sands. So out of 97% of our sands consist of items with an economic value. So that is an attractive product to be bought by somebody who is in the area and processing. It's possibly an attractive product to be bought by somebody outside the country. But the other alternative would be for us to do one further step of processing and then to separate out the various elements that we would then be selling ilmenite, garnet, rutile, zircon, and monazite as separate products. And if we were to go that way, we have a written offer from one of the potential off-takers who have agreed to fund the costs of that separation thing. Possibly probably what it will be a combination of both. We'll start off with selling heavy mineral sands in the raw state. And then depending on how much profit we make out of it and what the profit would be if we do the separation, we'll make a further decision at that stage. But we should be able to, with what we've got now, go into production and generate good profits very, very quickly once we've got the consent of the nuclear regulator.
Right. And do we have a time frame on that, in terms of how long that might take?
And we don't. It's a government organization. We put in our application some time ago. Our consultant thinks that it will be pretty imminent. So right now, my best guess would be within the next couple of weeks, but it is very much a guess. I would hate anybody to be relying on that. But that is the best guess that I have, or that we've been given by our regulator.
Okay. Well, Dennis, I've got a couple of questions that we've picked up from shareholders. I'm just going to put these to you now. So the first one is, what is so special about the machinery that you have on site?
To the best of my knowledge, there has never, ever in the world been a project which combines diamonds and heavy mineral sands. So what we've had to do, and particularly the team on the ground have had to do, is to design and build, or have built, depending on what it is, the machinery to handle our products. So we have designed a plant which is unique in the world, which will separate out both diamonds and heavy mineral sands. It's for the amount of money we've spent, we've got a plant which is probably worth 3 or 4 times that. I would estimate. So it's a unique and fantastic opportunity.
Indeed. Now, any signs, here's a second question that we've picked up from the shareholders, any signs of getting the permit to scoop it up and start processing?
I would love to do that. The problem is that even in the ground, the heavy mineral sand radioactivity level exceeds the minimum level which is imposed by the NNR. So the answer is no, we can't, not until we've got a permit.
Right. Well, let's move on and let's talk about your other diamonds project in South Africa. Now, the last time you spoke to us, you mentioned commissioning a jig to the site. Can you give us an update on that? How's that going?
Right. We commissioned a pulsating jig, which was working perfectly. It's what is used on the diamond diving, the boats that are used for recovering diamonds. So we've got that there. That's working. But we decided that we had to take it a step further when we were given the opportunity to acquire a flow sort machine. A flow sort machine is the next step in separating out your diamonds from the gravel. So the jig will give you a very high concentration of gravel and diamonds, but you still got a lot of gravel in there. Mm-hmm. The next step is a very big system, which is essentially the size of a big shipping container, which is completely sealed. And so what happens is that the diamond gravel goes from the pulsating jig and gets fed into the flow sort machine. And the flow sort is an X-ray separation system, which, as I say, is completely sealed. And as you put your gravels through, it it X-rays them and fires a beam at anything which is picked up by the X-ray, knocking that particular item to the side. And that's obviously focused on diamonds, but it'll also pick up things like shells or stones, which might reflect the X-ray. Those then all go into a much smaller container, obviously, because all the rest of the gravel has been separated out. And that is all completely sealed. And this is all done with Alex Corps security people present on site the whole time. That sealed container then goes through to final sorting, and that there is opened in our presence and that of Alex Corps security guys. It goes through a very, very sterile process there, and the diamonds are then separated out by hand, which means that we're now in a situation where the opportunities for theft of our diamonds is almost negligible. And that gives us a fantastic level of security, which we've never had before. And it puts us in a position where we can actually mine diamonds in the knowledge that we will get, and our shareholders will get, the benefit of every single diamond we mine.
Yes. And I can just imagine that moment when that container is opened as well. Have you been there in that moment, Dennis?
you can't get there. It's incredibly secure. So they won't just let CEOs of holding companies pop in and have a look.
The security is so tight that even you can't get in.
Pam, it's almost like an incubator with a newly born premature baby. So the access to the diamonds and the gravel is through the incubator with gloves and using tweezers. You can't actually touch the diamonds. So it's incredibly secure. Yes,
sounds like a fascinating process. Now, we've talked about Namibia, of course, heavy metal sands, and the South African diamonds. Out of these, which of these three would you say is your biggest near-term win? That could either underwrite the business somewhat or deliver that crystallization event that could propel the business forward?
I think you might have asked me two questions there. The first answer is diamonds will come into production first. Mm-hmm. We expect diamonds to be in production within the next couple of weeks. When we'll be selling them is a different question, but we're already mining diamonds. We're already mining diamond gravel, but we aren't yet putting it through the flow sort because, again, we're waiting for that there to be commissioned, but that should actually happen this week. And then Alex will have to sign off. So the first production will be of diamonds, and we should be in a position where we can start to make some announcements regarding carats produced pretty soon. Our biggest and best part of this whole project, unquestionably, is the heavy mineral sands. They will generate proper amounts of money. Diamonds will cover all the costs in South Africa, I anticipate, but heavy mineral sands will make some real profits and be the turning point of the success of Kazera, I have no doubt.
Well, we look forward to speaking with you as you hit these important milestones. Now, some people have commented on the lack of RNSs. Will regular news be flowing now?
Yeah, I mean, as you know, you can do an RNS when you have news. You can't do an RNS to say, you could, I suppose. I choose not to do an RNS to say, we've put on a coat of anti-sea fouling paint on our machine on the coast. The important things are the milestones. Yes. And the milestones will be when we get the commissioning of the flow sort, which, as I say, should be this week or early next week. And then the next one will be the production of diamonds, and we can actually, go tell the market that we've got X number of carats. And then, somewhere, hopefully, in that time frame will also be an announcement that we've got the permit from the nuclear regulator. So there's a lot of stuff to come.
There's a lot of news coming. Well, we look forward to speaking with you very soon, Dennis, and covering these milestones. But thank you for taking the time to talk to us today.
Great, Pam. Thank you.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.